Hey, yep, I bet you never thought clicking on this video you're going to start off math. So we're just going to go ahead and directly jump into the math. So we know what we're going to need to know for this build. You're finally going to be able to put all the trigonometry you learned in school to good use. Sure, we never learned about taxes and that, the important stuff, but hey, we're going to be able to build a sweet bed. Yeah, trust me, I understand. Math didn't get fun once we started putting letters in, but trust me, it got less fun once we started putting the Greek alphabet in there, college days. So I have this mock-up here. What we see to the top left is the traditional makeup of a bed. So this is like if you're looking directly at it. We have basically a base, and on top of the base sits the bed. So what we have to do here is we have to design this so when we're walking towards the bed, the base is hidden. Basically, it makes it appear as like um, it's floating. So the top is going to be our bed size. For me, I'm going to build it for a king bed, and then the base is what we're going to have to build for to support the bed, but also make it appear like it was hidden. So what we see on this triangle here is basically I've mocked up. So say it's first a 60-inch person about 5 feet at 120 inches or 10 feet. So at for a 5-foot person at 10 feet away from the bed, I don't want them to be seeing the bed. So that's what I'm calling here the line of sight or the hypotenuse of the triangle. For that, like again, for a 5-foot person at 10 feet away, I don't want them to be able to see the bed. So we're gonna have to solve for a couple things. So we know what our overhang, which I have denoted here by x, what that is. So how far inside of the outer perimeter of the bed the base needs to be, so we don't see it, so it does appear to be floating. Okay, so we're going to start off by solving some angles. The two other interior angles of the triangle. So it's a right triangle. So this one we know it's going to be 90 degrees. We have to solve for this angle and this angle right here. Which again, it's really it's really fundamental stuff for trigonometry. We can just use sine, cosine functions. I'm just going to use sine just because we have two values. I don't have to go solve for the hypotenuse or our line of sight length. So for sine, to solve for our top angle right there, this one right here, I'm going to use sine. So we're going to use sine of opposite, so 120 inches over adjacent for 60 inches, which this gives us 52 degrees. So we know it right here is 52 degrees. Another fundamental aspect of trigonometry or triangles is the interior angles of the triangles equals 180 degrees. So if we know the bottom is 90 degrees or the corner is, at the right angle 90 degrees, and we just calculated the top as 52 degrees, we know the other angle is going to be 38 degrees. Sweet. So now we know our line of sight angle, about 52 degrees. Say from our line of sight, that's what we would see it. And so if we look below that, we're not going to see the base. And if we look above that, all we're going to see is the top of the bed. So below that, we're seeing the floor. Above that, we're seeing the bed. And again, so this is for a 5-foot person at 10 feet away, they still won't be able to see the bed or the base of the bed. So again, it's going to appear as floating. So now what we have to do is solve for x right here. So I'm going to draw this little portion, this right here, just so we can bigger and we can start calculating this stuff. So this is that. Okay, so now this is where we have to begin. The the width of the wood, which I have by here denoted by y, over here I have it denoted by y. That's like we have to figure out what we want to build on. For me, I want to use 2x12 because one of my puppies, he likes to hide underneath the bed. He's really skittish, so he feels comfortable underneath the bed. But he doesn't fit because he's really big, he's a puppy, and he army crawls. It's actually really cute though because he thinks he's hidden underneath the bed. Like if he can't see us, he thinks we can't see him. So he always leaves little body parts sticking out if you touch his foot or tail. Then he army crawls deeper into it, but That's a little off topic. So again, for me, for my Y, I'm going to use 2 by 12s, which is approximately 2 by 12 is approximately 11 1/4 inches, 0.25. 11 1/4 inches tall. So now we know what our height is, or our Y. So now we have to calculate X over here, which is our overhang. So, but the angles we calculated are above the 38 and 52 still carry over, because again, those have to fit in there to match up our line of sight. So now we know what our thickness is, and we know what our angle is. So now again, we're still going to use the same sine function as above. So we know that sine of opposite over adjacent is going to be 38. So we could quickly calculate that. Sine of 38, it should be 11.25 divided by x, which x is our overhang. So again, we can move things around, equals divided by the sine of 38, which this equals, it's a little over 18 inches. I'll just use 18 inches because again, I'm well over 6 feet tall, so at 5 foot, I'm definitely not going to see it. So we know that this is about 18 inches. Sweet. So now we know for over here, we know that this angle right here has to be 18 inches or greater for us to not be able to see the bed. So now again, I want to do a king bed. So let me just draw this out. A king bed is 76 inches wide and 80 inches deep. And then so now when we talk about our base, if we're looking from above, here's our base. So we need 18 inches on all sides. 18 inches and 18 inches here. So if we go 76 minus 18 and 18 on both sides, 76 minus 18 and 18 on both sides, what is that? Is that 40? 40. Okay, that's kind of awkward length. But uh, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant here. Let's get a pointer option, eraser. So minus 18 and 18 is 36 equals 40. That's what I meant. So what I'm going to go ahead and make this 36 inches because I can more easily get 2 by 12s and 6 foot lengths. And then the lengthwise is going to have to be at least 62 inches. This way because it's 80 minus 18. So at least 62 inches. So from there I could go ahead and calculate all the lengths I need. So for the 18, let me just redraw it over here. So this is 76. So for this one, it's 80 long. Okay, so 80 long. So for this one, yeah, I'm just quickly making up all the wood I need. So I'm just making it so 76. Typical frame is on 16 inch on center, so it'd be 16, 32, 48, 64. So it doesn't quite even. So I'm gonna like this. So what's that? 16, 32, 64 is 4. What about? So I'm just gonna go ahead and make it 5. I'm gonna make it 5 beams on the center. So it'll be a little bit less than 16 inch on center, which is nice though. It's only gonna make it stronger. Oh, another one. Okay. So I know for the width wise of 76 is I'm gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need seven 80 foots, and then I'm gonna need 1, 2, 2/76. Now for the base is what we just calculated. So we're going to make the base. So what we just from here, I decided that I'm going to make it 36 inches wide. 36 inches wide, and then what is that? A 62 deep. Okay. So 62 deep. So our base over here, I think I got off, but it's gonna be 36 by 62, and then I'm just gonna go cut one in the middle, make two. So then for that, so this is 2x4s. Oh, there's a mouse. Okay. Option eraser. So I need 780s and 2/76s, and then for this and 2x4s and 2x12s, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 62s, and then 2 36s. Sorry about that. Sweet. Okay, and then one of the things though for the 62 inches, that's the total depth. So on the end pieces, the 36 inches, those have 1.5 inches of depth. So 1.5 inches on top, 1.5 inches on bottom, so it's 3 inches. So this really should be 59 inches. I'll explain that more later in the video. Sweet. So now we know we need 780s, 2/76s, and 2x4s, 4/62s, really 69, 59, and the 2x12 and 2/36s. So alright, now we know what we need, and we're gonna go get some wood.
Hi, hey guys. So obviously we did all the calculations inside. I know all the wood I need, so I went and got some 2x4 studs. This is what's used for home studs, and when you get your raw lumber, it's not true size. It's not perfectly square either. When they cut this wood, they actually cut it when it's wet. So as it shrinks up based on how knotty the wood and stuff is, it actually gets slightly out of skew, and maybe only like 1/8 of an inch or so over an 8-foot span. But nevertheless, for my low budget builds, it's not good enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by cutting the bottom end on my miter saw and then measuring out to the lengths that I calculated. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all that for the 2x4s and the 2x12s, and then we'll get on upstairs and start assembling. Cut. Alright, let's go. So I got the wood all cut. I have everything cut. The base, the actual framework. One of the things I was talking about downstairs when we were going through the measurements of all of this is how I said to subtract the width of the 2x4. So the king bed is 76 inches wide. So these ones I made 76 inches. If you want to catch that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got that?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. Wait, come grab a little bit of that. Whoa, you got it. That was pretty good. That's why I like using the fine point pens, or pencils. But then one of the things I said was, so we got to subtract the width of the two 2x4s on each end. So since I made this full length, I had to make this 80 inches, which is the length of a king, or the length of the king, 76 inches wide, 80 inches long. Subtracting the width of two, or the thickness of two 2x4s, which is 1.5 inch, 1.5 inch. So I made this one 77 inches. So when one second, I gotta be slick with it. So now, with the thickness, subtract it, now we get full 80 inches. So right now, I have 76 by 80 total. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna pre-drill the holes and put the outside in. Then I'll use my tape measure corner to corner to measure out if it's square or not. It's important to pre-drill though, yeah, or else at the end, because I'm going to put these in straight in. If I don't pre-drill, eventually it's going to crack here as the wood dries out. Because the wood's not fully dry, even though it's kiln dry, it's still not going to be fully dry. And it will split eventually. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill, and then get it all screwed up together. So I got the outer perimeter all screwed in together. Now to check if we're square, we're gonna do it called corner to corner. So we go from one corner, measure to here, which is 110. Then we'll go from this corner. If they match up, that means that this is square. And see, it's 111. So I got to push it that way a little bit. So now it's 110 and a half. It's 110 and a half. Are we good this one?
Look at this one is the one.
Don't move.
The one.
Okay. Cut. So like when we were doing the calculations for the size of this, like I said, I can obviously hang off over the edge, no issue. On all, I mean it's even on all sides, so the same as here. I think I just lost my innocence. It's the same thing on this side where I can hang off of it. And that's without even the big mattress on it, because we got a big, thick memory foam mattress and it weighs over 100 pounds itself. So obviously once all that weight's in there, there's nothing to worry about. Just 39. Well, that's just the floor. I'm going to have to shim it up over there. But overall, it's there like I want it to be. It's so big. I did use a 2x4 strapped up both here, as well as all these braces. I did screw into the 2x12. Oh yeah, I see where it's floating in some spots. So I'll throw some shims on there. Yeah, now what I'm gonna do is throw a board on top. So because I'm not using a box spring at all, so I want to make sure that the memory foam doesn't fall into the crevices. We should really do something with all this space.
Do what?
I'm gonna go in storage.
You're gonna have to take the board off?
I'll make some cuts later on if you want. Oh, this is set. Okay, so yeah, so right now I'm gonna cover this with some boards, and then we'll put the mattress on, and then tomorrow I'll show how I'm gonna do the border on there, just so you don't see exposed woods, and it looks really nice. Ready?
Yeah.
So I got some Hardy backer board here. Hardy backer board. I converted both my master shower and my other main shower from a tub to just a stand-up shower top. And I got way too many of these boards, so I was just like, alright, I'll use them. They're fiber boards, so they're really strong. It's just, this was not the best way to do it. What would have been the best way to do is get some 4x8 sheets of like particle board or plywood, and just done two. But I don't know, I just had them, I wanted to use them. Well, like I said earlier, that little creek, all I needed was a shim over here, you know. Strong. So, yeah, now it's ready for the mattress. We're gonna put the mattress on here. Then tomorrow, I'm gonna come make the border around with 1x8 boards and make sure once it's looking all right, I'll take them downstairs, stain them, and then put them back up and use my brad nailer to get them in. So awesome. Let's put the mattress on. I'm gonna take my shoes off and going in and out. Just Dusty? Dusty? Dusty, come here. Come here, bud. Dusty, come here. It is so comfy. Oh my. Isn't that memory? Come here. What do you think? Now me and you have this bed and she could go sleep in another room with the old bed. Remember the one you guys broke? Oh, that is really nice. Oh.
Oh, yes.
Alright, shut that off. I'll get it back on tomorrow. So the girlfriend's at work today. I guess the hospital needed her. I told her just, you don't need to be a doctor. We'll make it big on YouTube. But no, she insisted on working. So I got the wood for the trim around the bed. I ended up going with poplar, whatever it's pronounced. It's the same one I did a staircase, and it's the same wood. Like when I did my staircase, I did custom railings. I got a few pieces of these and sanded them to a custom railing, and when I stained them, they matched the vinyl floors really well. So I ended up going with that. I did have some reclaimed oak boards from an old house from, like, I think the house was early 1900s, maybe late 1800s. I was trying to sand them. I tried different techniques. I just couldn't get the color to look right, so I ended up getting poplar. So for right now, I'm gonna sand the edges of these so they're rounded, so they're not sharp. And then I'm gonna stain them. I'll stain them probably 2 coats, all 4 sides, and then I'll cut them and put them upstairs. And then once I have them all nailed into the bed, I'll just use some wood filler and lightly sand that and put a coat of stain on that to blend everything in. But I'll show you guys that later on. So I'm gonna get standing. Okay, so I got the wood stained, and I got a cut to fit around the perimeter. See, that's roughly how it's gonna look. I hope I come out good. Yeah, she had a long day. This is one of those like 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. shifts at the hospital. So I thought I would surprise her and get this all done. She's made it clear that the only surprise she wants is a ring, but I'll do the next best thing and make her a sweet custom bed. So that's just who I am. So yeah, right now I'm gonna go ahead and start nailing these together, and yeah, we'll do another little nice touch. Then you should roughly see the finished product. Let's see if can you see how it looks with the trim. One sec. Maybe more like. So that's what I was saying. It looks really nice because like you see the full mattress, but it hides all the other stuff. And when you put the blanket on, it's gonna all disappear. So I got the trim around. It looks really nice. Be surprised I don't do this every day. But so actually now since I'm this far, I just thought I want to put some LED lighting below it. I have some of these strips of LED lights, got off Amazon. I installed over 800 feet of this for my kitchen backsplash. It's LED backlit. You should really check that video out. It's pretty cool. But it's LED backlit. So these have a little markers where you can cut them and solder them. They're about every 6 inches off. The issue with these is they really kind of limit you where you can put them. So, but one thing you could do so you don't have to solder is you could actually bend them. And so this way when you bend them like the way I do it, you don't have to, you're not limited by only 6-inch cuts. You could put it wherever you want to. So for 90 degree, so this is gonna come this way, and when so this one's, imagine this is this length right here next to me. So when I come to this corner down there, I'm gonna take it. How do I do this one again? Oh, I bend it towards me and then away. So do you see it? Bend it towards me in a 90 degree. Because this stuff is super flexible. And look, now you have a 90 degree wherever you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and install the LED lighting underneath this, just because I want a really nice surprise for when she gets here. So here's the finished product. So now let's go over the math we did in the beginning. Remember how I said I'm a little bit over 6 foot tall, about 6'2", 6'1", between there. And I said within 10 feet of the bed, I don't want to see the bottom. So right now you guys are about my chin level. And down here on the tape measure, you can see about 11 foot. So when I rounded it down to about 6 foot, I could barely, if I look down low enough, I could kind of see it. Do you see? But that's over 11 feet away. So from over here, it really does look like it's glowing really nice. And that's why I was really happy with the way I did or floating really nicely. That's why I was really happy finding like that. So I can have the biggest base for the sturdiness, or I still get that floating effect. Sweet, now I'm gonna make the bed and I'll show you guys her reaction. Yeah, I don't know who did it. Was it you, Dusty?
What? What is this? Let me take a picture and send it to my mom. What? It looks so cool.